Welcome everybody to the Sports Sounds. Here we got obviously we have a familiar face with us tonight, but not a normal face. We have our boy Dupree on here with us. Real quick, want to welcome everybody to tonight's show, talking about the NBA playoffs. First and foremost, I want to give recognition to our sponsors, obviously Black MP Living Water. Just go on to blackmp.com, type in the Sports Sounds, you get 35% off your order. And then on top of that, of course, we have Cali Built Graphics that we always make sure we give them recognition. They take care of all of our needs for shirts and everything like that. They can take care of your decal needs. They even do full wraps on your vehicle. So they can take care of it all. And last but not least, of course, one of my favorite places to go here locally in Tulare is Number One Sports Fan. They have a shop in Tulare by Celia along with Hanford. I always got to make sure I take care of all my sports merchandise coming out of there. So once again, want to thank them for everything and always making sure everyone has, what they need. So, how's your week been so far?
It's been good, man. Working. Now an upgrade. We're on the laptop now.
Oh, moving on up.
Phone.
You're right. I ain't going to lie. I'm still using the phone, but my phone works just fine for it. So I don't know, something about the phone working better than the laptop, in my personal opinion. I haven't upgraded my laptop yet. But no, so let's hop right on into it and talking about, obviously the NBA playoffs. We've got some big things going on. We've actually got a game. It's playing right here behind me. You got Minnesota and Phoenix playing. But one of the things I want to ask and get your insight. So far in the playoffs, the home team is looking to be 12-0. 12-0 going into this thing. Do you think there's an underdog that can actually break this streak and actually, a road team win the series? And if so, which one do you think? Not as a fan, realistically.
Realistically?
Yeah, realistically. Who do you think can be an underdog and take the series on the road?
If anything, it's a hard choice to even think about that. Like I would say the Sixers, but then Joel Embiid is hurt, so it's kind of like wonky on that part. If he'll keep going, because he could re-tear it and then not play at all.
Right.
And then, even though they're at home right now, I've really been liking the way the Timberwolves have been playing. Edwards has been bringing all the hype. They've been,
but see, with Minnesota though, Minnesota is going to be, they're the home team. They're the one that has home field advantage. So we got Mikey. He's not on with us tonight, but he's watching in, and he's actually messaging. He's got the Lakers, 76ers, and Mavs. Now, so the Sixers are down 0-2.
Yeah. Just like I was saying though, with Joel Embiid, that with the Sixers.
Yeah, I'm that one's going to be a tough one. They lost a close one yesterday. They lost by 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that one I think is going to be a little difficult. The Lakers,
they have an answer for him because literally Jokic was already going off. Actually, I now call him Gru. If you didn't see how he dressed the last time, that is Gru of the NBA Finals right now.
Straight up.
And Jamal was 3-10, and then you come back in the fourth quarter making everything, literally everything.
Well, that's the thing. That shot that they put up, that game winner. You got. So to me, a lot of people that I've talked to about this, they've sit and said, "Oh, that was a lucky shot." You guys got to remember, Jamal Murray and AD were actually teammates at Kentucky. They always ran against each other because Murray, for quite a while, was actually a sixth man. It went back and forth between him and Devin Booker.
Okay.
You got to remember, so Kentucky back in the day when they had AD, they had DeMarcus Cousins. Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, Calipari, he knows how to produce an NBA player. And so those guys were teaming. So you got a guys that, it's like, look, this is a style of play. And so I don't think that shot was lucky by Murray, but I think it was a phenomenal shot because that was his type of play.
Right.
And worst case scenario, let's be honest, he misses, they go into overtime. It's not like it was a 3-pointer to, they were down by 1. It was a 2 to win it. So I don't know about the Lakers personally. I'm not a believer in the Lakers also. I mean, it is a little biased, but for me, the Lakers in that game, they showed up in the first half, but they kind of went stagnant, in all honesty, in my personal opinion. What did you get from that one?
When it came to that game, I feel like they just got not really like stagnant is the word. They got comfortable. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we got this lead, so we don't really have to do much. And then as they started chipping away, they're like, oh, let me shoot a 3. Oh, let me pass over here. But there was no like good run plays or any plays to keep the lead going up. And then misses that open 3 after the guy's on the floor and you had all the time in the world to shoot it.
Right. Well, that's a big thing. I mean, Murray, like you said, he wasn't shooting very well. He finished 9 of 24, with 20 points.
Yeah.
He was 0 for 5 from 3-point land. For me, a lot of people will say that Jokic is the MVP so far of this series. If Denver were to win, I don't agree with that. I think the way that Michael Porter Jr. has played, to me, he's been the best player for Denver. And he's not even the best player on the team. He's the 3rd best player. And that's actually pretty close because Aaron Gordon just doing his job. He did what he was supposed to do. He's not expected to average the 30 points or the 25 like he did back in the day with Orlando. So for me, that one, he's done his part. AD did a great job. He finished with another double-double, 32 and 11. Mikey's trying to say high altitude, causes him to drain. I don't believe that. I can't say, I've been to Denver. I've been up there in the altitude, but not playing sports. So it is a complete difference. I've done work out there, but not actually playing, you have a different type of scenario.
It doesn't matter in a stadium when they don't use really open air.
That's
when they're using an open stadium and there's air going through most of the time. You got air conditioned air in a dome. So
exactly. So I think the biggest downfall for the Lakers is, and we've talked about it last one, D'Lo, Russell, he actually showed up, in last night's game. Shot great, 7-11 from 3-point land, finished with 23 points. But once again, Austin Reeves, 9 points. Hachimura, 3 points. Vanderbilt, we be back. We know he has a sprained right foot, but I think if Denver wins 1 in Los Angeles is not going to make it. That's just my personal thought. It just went final. Minnesota beat Phoenix once again. So it is 12-0, and right now we've got in the 3rd period, it's 84-80 with the Pacers leading. So we got a road team that's actually leading right now, but you still got an entire quarter to play, and they're also playing without Giannis.
Yeah, they're playing without Giannis.
I'm going to be interested. Me and Mike, we talked about this. If the Bucks lose tonight, you're going to see Giannis back in Game 3, which is what he's projected. But in my personal opinion, if the Bucks end up winning, I think you keep Giannis on the bench and let him just continue the rest until they lose. What's the worst case scenario? Okay, I'm up 2-0. If I lose, I'm up 2-1. Now we're going to play them.
Yeah, you still got 2 more games out of that, so you're good.
Yeah, because Lillard is doing his part. You know, the biggest key for in that game that I've noticed was the play of Siakam.
Mm.
You know, he's got 27 points, but actually it's been Miles Turner who's got 14. He's actually doing pretty well. Halliburton has just not shown up. So I don't think Indiana is going to be a person that can be a road team victor. You know, I don't think they can win the series. I think the Mavs can. I agree with what Mikey says. I do think the Mavs can, even though they got smoked in game one. You know, they got game two coming up at 7:00. It actually should be starting here shortly.
Right.
So I'm going to say on that one itself, I think the Mavs can take that because they still play decently. You know, they both have identical records between home and away.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers are 25-16 at home. Of course, Dallas is the same record on the road. So you don't really have an advantage. So I think you're going to see Dallas take this when they're going to split the series. On that one.
They definitely will.
You know, but what has been the biggest game? Like, who else do you think that really can?
That's the away team.
Yeah. Do you think the Magic can beat the Cavs? I don't.
I haven't seen a lot of their games, but I feel like the Cavs still could have that one.
I think the Cavs, you know,
is the Mavs doing it. I feel the Sixers if Jewel doesn't re-tear his knee, because that's the only thing I'm worried about with that.
Yeah, I don't see.
Yeah, like I want the Lakers to do it, but Father Time himself, LeBron is not going to be able to do it by himself, and Anthony Davis needs to play every game like that. But the supporting cast isn't doing enough for it.
Right. Yeah, I think you can see the Mavs. I do think you can see possibly the Sixers, but I think you do have that nailed dead on the head when it comes to Embiid. What type of factor is he going to be? You know, because the Sixers don't have a lot of scoring,
right?
You know, when it comes to that. You know, we still do have game two that's got to come up for the Celtics and the Heat, which is not until tomorrow night, along with the Pelicans and the Thunder. Pelicans aren't going to do anything. Let's be honest. That Thunder team, you know, SGA, 35-6, you know, on the season. I just don't see, you know, and plus with Zion, you know, being out. So I don't, you know, that's not going to happen. So, yeah, I'm going to say I think it's going to be 76ers, you know, for a possibility, but I think for sure it's going to be the Mavs.
The Mavs is definitely for sure one. If anything, it could be Mavs and Milwaukee. I'm thinking.
Yeah, but again, Milwaukee is a home team. They have home field advantage or home court advantage.
In a way.
So, yeah, I mean, because basically, because the Heat won't beat Boston, Pelicans aren't going to beat the Thunder.
Phoenix is not the Phoenix the way they're playing. They're not beating Timberwolves.
No, not at all. Not at all.
They're not.
You know, so I don't know. It's going to be a tough one, in my personal opinion. What has been the biggest game that you've watched so far out of all the playoffs?
Out of all that I've watched, it had to be the Laker game, because even though I caught it in the third and fourth quarter, it's just like, how do you let a team come back from so far back?
Yeah.
From so far back, and Jokic getting 26 within the end of the game and just picking away at you.
Well, I mean, at halftime, I want to say the Lakers were up something like 8 or 10. But let's take a look. Lakers were up 15 at half.
Yeah.
15 at half. I'm sorry. That shouldn't happen. You should not have, you know. But it showed once again. They came flat-footed. Hey, we got the lead. We're good to go. Yeah. Nope. until that thing hits, 30 seconds left and I got a 15-point lead, I'm still trying to score on you.
Exactly. And you're supporting
Eh,
Cat to be able to do it too. It can't just be Anthony Davis and LeBron all day. I got to see at least 10 from Reeves. I got to see 10 from D'Angelo. I got to see somebody else off the bench with at least 5.
Well, and so the whole thing, like, realistically, I'm not even going to say 10. You got to have 20 from Russell, 15 from Reeves, and then you can stick with your 25 and your 30, from LeBron and AD.
Right.
Off the bench, there wasn't a lot of points that were scored off the bench. I mean, honestly, there were 6 points. That was it. And it was 2 3-pointers by Prince in that game. But you had, 6 shots from players off the bench?
See, what's that going to do when you only have an 8-point lead?
Basically, they're playing with, to be honest, even though, Prince had 22 minutes, between giving AD a break, giving LeBron a break, Hachimura a break, things like that. He played as a big. But still, you got 48 minutes in a game. Anthony Davis, 39. Hachimura, 38. LeBron, 38. Russell, 39. Reeves finished with 33. So you got, talking about the altitude and being drained. Well, yeah, you're going to be drained when you're playing that much time.
Yeah.
And the other issue, Anthony Davis, you got to remember, he got into foul trouble. He had 5 fouls.
He got in foul trouble.
He got in foul trouble. So he had to be careful in the way he played. Because if you lose LeBron or AD, you're not doing anything. You're done. It's like, let me go ahead and just sit everybody and we'll finish. We'll play next game. So it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm waiting to see what we got going on.
Right.
Who do you think, though? Obviously, with what we're seeing right now, we'll make this short and sweet.
Yeah.
Who has been the best, from obviously not just statistically, because of the wins, but who has been the best team in the playoffs, in your opinion?
Right now, it's just been between Denver and the Timberwolves.
For the Western?
Yeah. The Timberwolves have really been showing out a lot, and Anthony Edwards is playing. He's playing like old school, and I like that because like he brings everybody in. He's like excited to play the game more than anybody I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, he does have that old school grit type play. I'm going to grit between. I think you're going to see Minnesota and Denver. More than likely in the finals if it lines up that way. That in the Western Conference Finals. I'm still saying no matter what, Boston with 18. I don't. If they're playing only way Boston does not win number 18 is if they have to play against Denver. But you got to remember, Boston is going to have home court advantage for the entire series because they had the best record in the NBA.
Yeah.
So
Denver would have to take it to like a game 6 to get any home games at all.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be pretty interesting. Do you think? I want to ask this question, and I'm going to put this out there. So if you guys, anybody, everyone that watches the show, LeBron James has a $51 million player option for next year.
To stay with the Lakers?
To stay with the Lakers.
Okay.
If they lose to Denver in this series, does LeBron wait to see if Bronny gets drafted and go? Or does he go ahead and keep the $51 million contract and stay with the Lakers?
Well, if anything, it hasn't been about the money since then. Yeah, think about it. He's been training Bronny forever to go into the league. And he's been saying that already. I want to go into the league. with my son. I want to play 1 year, 2 years, whatever with my son. So wherever he goes, whether it's Lakers, Mavs, Heat, LeBron wants to play one time with his son. He don't want to play against him. He wants to play with him, coach him, and then go off into the Raptors. So it doesn't even matter to him if it's with the Lakers or not. He wants to play with his boy, if anything. So $50 million, maybe $1 million. I think he's still.
He's not going to sign for a small amount. I mean, even though the guy's got plenty of stinking money,
he'll go where his son goes most of the time. You know.
Do you think that he sits there and tells the Lakers? Because let's be honest, I think it was 4.4 points a game.
Yeah.
2.6 assists and I think it was 1.5 rebounds. Bronny can't. Why are you going to try and enter the draft with those stats?
Right.
So I think personally I don't think Bronny gets drafted, and if he does get drafted, it is going to be because LeBron is going to tell the Lakers, "You're going to draft my son in the second round," because he's not a first-round pick. I don't even think he's a third-round pick. Not with those. I don't even think he should be a pick, in my personal opinion.
If anything, he'd be round 20.
Yeah, exactly. He's that bad.
Yeah.
It's like start the dude in the G League. That's my personal opinion. It's the same concept with the other Ball brother, the one that's not in the league. I don't remember what his
name. Yeah, the third one. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the third one. To me, I would take him over Bronny.
Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, his highest percentage is 4.8.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, his last game to date, when he played against Washington in 84-74, he scored 7.
Yeah, you shouldn't draft him. Oh, I agree with you, Mikey. His brother, the younger brother, the younger James player, son, he is the better one.
He is way better as far as I've seen him play.
But I don't know. I mean, I think he went to USC just because it was close to home.
Right.
But he needs to get out from. He's already got enough recognition with his name itself. He needs to get out and go somewhere else. That's what he needs to do. He needs to go somewhere that he's not going to be covered under the hood of his dad being right there catered by his mom. It's like, no, let him get his feet wet. Let him be an adult. Let him figure out life. You can sit trainer still.
Right.
But so I think you're going to see LeBron back to the Lakers. I don't see them drafting Bronny.
If he does get drafted, the only way LeBron would move again is if he got drafted to the Heat, because he knows the coach, the Wade is there, and he would go over there because his son was there.
Well, yeah, Wade being part of like the minority owner or whatever like that. But to me, I don't think. Yeah,
that's the only other place I would see LeBron going to if his son were to get drafted and his son went somewhere else other than the Lakers.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I will say this. That is, we are actually finishing up. That is all that we have for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you guys, hopping on, watching the replay, doing everything like that. Don't forget, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, everything like that. We're working on getting the Instagram to go live at the same time. It's a little bit of a headache, but we're working on it. This Thursday, Mikey and I, we will be on during the draft to talk about the picks. It's probably going to be like the first, honestly, 10, 15 picks, and that's it. Because if not, we'd be online for like 3 hours. But we're probably going to keep it, to like the first, the top 10, top 15 max. So y'all hop on with us. Listen. Hear our insights. Who do we think that should get drafted? Who do we think? Who's the best pick at that time? But this Thursday, NFL draft. Don't forget to check it out. So again, appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good evening. Be safe. God bless y'all, and peace out.
Peace out, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, and get into the chat like Mike did today, where he's doing all these chats. I don't know if they know how to do that, but